Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, Bulldog Nation, I want you to know that I am outside the Hamilton County Courthouse to deliver this video because it's just appropriate that I do it here. Back in August of 2019, I held a protest here with Dr. Durrani victims who wore black t-shirts with the names of the 54 people who had died at the time on the back, with the front a quote from Gladstone, which was adopted by Chief Justice O'Connor, which says, "Justice delayed is justice denied." It's a famous quote. And we were protesting our inability to get trials. At that protest, Judge Sunderman, a retired judge, was present on behalf of Judge Schweikert. When we told Judge Sunderman what we were going to do, he says, "Well, you have the right to protest the court system." In addition to that, there were some bailiffs that were hanging around that were supposed to see if anything got out of line. The bottom line is we held our protest. As a result of that protest, Judge Schweikert, who had the case at the time, scheduled a hearing, a contempt hearing against us in his courtroom at 3 o'clock. Durrani victims appeared, I appeared, we were ready to go. An hour goes by and Judge Schweikert doesn't show up. He's in the other courtroom. He doesn't say anything about waiting. When it gets to 4 o'clock, everybody knows this place locks up at 4 o'clock. Nobody works here past 4 o'clock. So what happens? We all leave. We get a phone call that if we don't come back, he's going to issue a bench warrant. We come back. The news crew stuck around, of course, and we had a hearing. At that hearing, he tells me we're going to have this hearing no matter what. I object to it. I said, I'm not waiving legal counsel. I'm not waiving any of my rights. I'm not waiving anything. The other thing that's important, this gets a little legalese, but I think I can handle it for you. Direct contempt is when you do something in front of the judge. He was in Florida, okay? So he holds a hearing based upon me being in direct contempt. Throws me in jail for 15 days. I serve 8 when Russell Mock lets me out. Our motion was well taken that I should be let out till my appeals heard. That doesn't happen unless you're gonna win. It doesn't happen unless you're gonna win. Yesterday, a decision was written by Judge Krause of the Hamilton, the First District Court of Appeals, joined by Judge Mock and Judge Winkler, basically saying, okay, this wasn't direct contempt. What? It was indirect contempt. What? So they take a decision that was based upon direct contempt, make it indirect contempt, and ignore the record. It's off the charts. Judge Krause, no legal scholar. Now, here's why I'm doing this video. The Cincinnati Enquirer reports the story that I might have to go back to the Hamilton County Justice Center. Well, I want you to know that the Enquirer didn't call me. Does everybody in the world have my cell phone number, my access? Of course you do. They don't call me before they run the story. I called Kevin up, the reporter, and I said, "Do you always do this?" I swear to you, he said this. He goes, "That's the way they want us to do it." In other words, journalism is you give the other side an option to say something. He freaking doesn't do that. He said the newspaper wants him to do it that way. It's news. That's what he said. Are you kidding me? So I'm defending myself to that Cincinnati.com. I'm not going to go back to the Hamilton County Justice Center any day soon. We're filing a motion to reconsider. We're filing an en banc motion. We'll be appealing it to the Ohio Supreme Court. Furthermore, I just want everybody to know, if I got to go back into the Hamilton County Justice Center and serve 7 more days, I will gladly serve them. Now, just remember, all the people right now with coronavirus getting let out of the jail left and freaking right, what do you think the odds are that they'd find a good non-coronavirus cell for me for 7 days? I think the odds are pretty good. Now, let me just tell you about this. Dr. Durrani victims have endured unbelievable BS from the court system. They petitioned Chief Justice O'Connor. She just ignored it. They don't care. The law in Ohio says you have to have your trial within 3 years. This is going on 7, going on 8 years, and they're trying cases one at a time. Recently, they said no trials for March to August, and probably for the rest of the year. No trials. So we have filed a writ with the Ohio Supreme Court. Now, let me just tell you some more things. What changed between September 30th, when Russell Mock let me out of jail, and June 30th? Yesterday. I'll tell you what happened. A falling out with Joe Deters. Because let me tell you on the record here, Joe Deters told me he got Russell Mock elected. Joe Deters told me that he get vacations with Russell Mock. Joe Deters told me that Russell Mock gave his boy his golf clubs. Joe Deters tells me he practically owns Russell Mock. Joe Deters talks to Russell Mock all the time. So what happened between September 30th and June 30th? I had a falling out with Joe Deters. Yes, I'm accusing Joe Deters and Russell Mock saying, well, since the Bulldog basically called Joe Deters out for being an alcoholic, which is the facts. By the way, Joe Deters hasn't sued me yet. Hey, Joe, if I'm slandering you about being an alcoholic, why haven't you sued me? But anyway, Russell Mock is a corrupt judge. Meanwhile, you know what Judge Winkler did? Judge Winkler had in front of him a properly filed motion to consolidate the cases in front of Judge Ruhlman, and he refused to hear it. He refused to set a hearing, and Judge Ruhlman just signed the order himself. And we won that appeal up to the Court of Appeals, through the Supreme Court the first time. They do it again, and miraculously, on a day of a mediation, Judge O'Connor throws Ruhlman off the cases. Imagine that. Judge Ruhlman had all the cases set for trial in 2016 and 2017. They'd be over with. But thanks to Justice O'Connor, that didn't happen. That is the corruption that goes on in this place. And remember last year, the big 150th anniversary, whatever it was, out here, Belva Marsh and all of them, and the governor and Joe Deters and everybody out here celebrating how wonderful the justice system. I want to tell you something. The Hamilton County justice system is broke. It's a joke. And ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, you know what? They can't throw me in jail for doing the protest of what they do illegally. These are elected officials. I have a constitutional right to protest. By the way, you know what some more injustice these Durrani victims have endured? Are you ready for this? For the first time in the history of America, Judge Schweikert sealed the jury verdicts. Can you imagine that? A public trial, jury verdicts sealed, gag orders, no group trials. Judge Michael Barrett, the federal judge, holds group trials, but we can't. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, we tried from the get-go. You go through the road, you file your motions, you file your pleadings, you do your thing, and you go through the motions. And guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You got to raise hell. You got to raise hell. And you know what's another thing? Unlike other protests who have torn down things, pulled down statues, defaced property, took property, we've had peaceful protests. And I get 15 days in jail. Meanwhile, Judge Schweikert goes off the cases so he can go vacation permanently in Florida, where he can be golfing. Judge Schweikert, a.k.a. Judge Reich, is the most evil judge I have ever known. And I got this. I am so proud. I got to say that to his face in the courtroom. I got to call him evil. He didn't care about Durrani victims and their unnecessary pain. He didn't get to deal with their foreclosures, their evictions, their bankruptcies, their financial problems. He doesn't give two damn about them. I got to deal with all that. And we do. This is the Bulldog. Every dog is their day. The Hamilton County justice system and the Ohio justice system could kiss my ass.